The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
No, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's make it a great week, folks. You got option expiration coming at us this Friday. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Always do your best. Your best is changing all the time. Your best will depend on whether you're refreshed in the morning or tired at night. Your best will be different when you're happy as opposed to being upset, or healthy as opposed to being sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. What we want to do, folks, is send a lot of white light, a lot of prayers out to everyone over in Japan. It's a bad situation over there, and things change, and things change very quickly in life, and please send it out there. Thank you. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 51, NASDAQ off 14, S&P's off 7.5, gold contract up $2.30, trading at $1,424 an ounce. Silver down 7 cents at $35.86. Platinum off $23 at $1,757 an ounce. Copper up a penny at $4.22 a pound. Late sweet crude flat at $102.42. Bonds up 6 ticks, trading out at 120.15. Dollar index down 44 ticks at 76.61. Euro up 9 ticks at 139.97. Yen down 14 at 81.71. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do we have? You got to 1286 out here today. You closed at 1296. You took out the swing point from the 24th of February. 24th, we did 1.2 billion. Today, you did 963 million. You're going to need more volume to break into lower levels here. I suspect what we have here is that we're building cause. You had the first leg down. First leg down brings you back to this January 18th level. We'll see how it performs when you get a little bounce here. That's your S&P. Dow Industrials, it's the same type of setup in the Dow. Dow gets down to a price point of the 11,897. You close at 11,993. It's certainly not in the range, but the bottom line is that you did have lighter volume. As you get into that swing point of the 24th, you bounced off that level. NASDAQ, the composite first. You take a look at the composite. Little different animal in the composite. This is what we have with the composite. Composite today, NASDAQ composite, gets down to a price point of 26.82. Your swing point out there is 27.05. The composite couldn't get back inside that swing point. Now, we had a contraction of volume. We did 1.7 billion versus 1.8 versus on the 23rd, which was 2.4. But you didn't get back inside the structure. And now the reason you didn't is this. We go over to the NDX 100. This is what you have with the inside the NDX 100. Now, NDX 100 today, folks, was down 850. Inside the NDX 100, which was given its strength, was what? Good old Apple. Well, watch Apple here. Now, this gets really interesting. Because the NDX has gone to lower prices, many of the stocks have gone to lower prices, Apple now is pushing 21.2% of the NDX 100. Apple, however, was struggling out here today. Apple, what we did is this. It opened at 353.18. It closed at 353.56. Got into 356. Couldn't handle that level. Bottom line, Apple's building some strength to get down to this 337. I suspect to get into this 326 area. That was the lows of the 18th of January. Now, gold market. Let's go over to the gold market. What we had out here in gold, pretty amazing, folks. And what's amazing about this is this. We're going to take a look at the gold market. gold market out here today couldn't handle the price. It got well, first off, the highs in gold right now, on March 7th. March 7th, we got to a price point of 1445, closed at 1434, which was under the highs of November 4th and December 7th. What does it do today? Today you get to a price point of 1433. You close at 1424. You do 100,000 contracts. Those 100,000 contracts, folks, are going against 255,000 contracts and 204,000 contracts in the downdraft. Now, that's gold. Let's go over and we take a look at silver. We take a look at silver. What silver did out here is this. Silver gets to a price point out here today. You get to a price point of $36.50. You do 53,000 contracts. The high in silver was just last week. The high in silver was out there. That was 83,000 contracts. So now watch this scenario, though. You have 83,000 contracts out there March 7th. You come down last Friday with 97,000 contracts. The high of last Friday was 36.18. The low was 34.50. What do we do today? You go to a price point out here today of 36.50. You're trading out here right now at, this session closed at 35.86. What is that saying? That's saying silver also wants to back down. It says 34.50, probably get into 31.70. Now, in the context, folks, that we have a Middle East that's unstable, you have a earthquake in Japan, you have a tsunami in Japan, and then you have an outside chance that radioactive, fallout on a small basis is happening. And gold and silver can't move. It's talking, it's walking, it's squawking. And what is it saying? Leave that up to you. It says it all. Believe me, it says it all. Now, we're going to go back to the dollar. We take a look at the dollar. This is what you have. Dollar index out here today, we're at 76.59. We take a look at this index as the dollar, the last low in the dollar out here in this particular contract, it's a new contract, was 76.40. We got to 76.47. Right now, you're at the 59. If we take a look at this and we do it on a continuous contract, what you have on the continuous contract is this. You're still way up at 76.46. The last low in the continuous contract was 76.14. This backed in, has lighter volume. This thing still wants to go higher. We do that in correlation of the euro and what you have out here inside with the euro, folks. Euro's at the 139.97. She wants to go tag this 140.036. I suspect it's not going to get beyond it. Why? Well, what you have, folks, is that out here today, our markets are building cause for lower prices. Tricky? Yeah, big time. Deviant? Absolutely. But inside the NASDAQ 100, you can see it's all about Apple. If we take a look and we go over to Google for a second, what you're going to see in Google is this. Now, if we take a look, and what we want to do here is we'll dissect and bisect the NDX 100 first. Google goes from a price point today of 578 to 569. It's going into the swing point of 553. You're already in the top of the swing point. We got in the top of the swing point today, folks, which was 574. That sets up the bottom of the swing point, which is 553. That's Google. We go take a look at the Oracle, ORCL, which has been a nice high flyer out here. What is Oracle doing? What Oracle's doing, folks, that building a little bit of cause. She wants to fill up her gap. We're at 30.25. Right now, you're at 31.59. We go take a look at some of the strength now that was in the NASDAQ. FSLR, which is First Solar, she had some strength, up $7, with the problem in Japan with the nuclear reactor. Bottom line, that little baby, she came off a high first off. She had a high on February 18th. That high was out there at 175. She comes down with 3 million shares, 3.8. She goes up today with 2.9. She can get into a price point of 155. You're at 146, but I don't think you're going to see much more than that. Let's go to Richard in Palm Harbor. Hey, Richard, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. Thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. What are we going to look at today?
SLV. I didn't quite hear what you thought the pullback would be on spot silver, and I wanted to know whether it would be an entry point for ZSL.
Let's take a look at it. You got SLV. This is the iShares Silver Trust, folks, okay? The low 16, the highs 35. And what his question is that, first off, well, my take on this, number one, is that you have March 7th, the high was 35.78 and the low was 34.97. We had volume out there of 53 million. Now, that wants to be tested, folks, and it actually has been tested 3 times thus far. It was tested last Thursday with 31 million shares versus the 53. It was tested on Friday with 41 million. It was tested today with 21. So that's saying, first off, that the SLV wants to get back to the low of the 11th, which is $33.34. I suspect this probably wants to get into somewhere around the $31 area. So what his question is that he's looking at the ZSL. Now, the ZSL, folks, is the ProShare Ultra Short Silver. This trades at 200% inverse correlation of the actual silver. Where I suspect this wants to go, Richard, okay, on a short-term basis is 31. You're at 26. On a longer-term basis, wants to go higher. But I would not be shot. Okay, so the exercise that we just went through at the beginning of the show here, I was showing where the markets are, number one, and that why. It absolutely blew my mind. Let me tell you something. Even though I'm bearish on gold and silver right now, and I think this correction has further to go, it absolutely blew my mind that they were not at the moon this morning. Particularly because between the Middle East, folks, if you don't know it, inside the Middle East also, what ended up happening is that the Arab coalition basically sent some troops into the neighboring country. This was midday. Bottom line is that it's unstable over there. We get the earthquake happening. We get a tsunami happening. It's like, if they can't move right now, they're not going to move. That being said, Richard, I wouldn't be short gold or silver overnight. I'd trade it in the middle of the day until things calm down. You know, my take is, though, that if we get a major high here, and the reason being is that if you take a look at the equities, the gold equities, the silver equities, are doing an additional ABC down. You know, so.
Okay. One quick question, Tom.
Yeah.
Don't you see a bullish engulfing on SLV?
SLV, a bullish engulfing. No, that's not a bullish engulfing. Great question. That's a lost engulfing. When you're a bullish engulfing, okay, hey, you just stay right there. We'll bring you through that. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. We're coming back, folks, and this is a tricky symbol in candlestick and council charting. And the symbol we were talking about is on March 11th. This is Tom O'Brien. This is TFNN. You stay right there. We're coming right back.